This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Alianza Minerals, Mr. Jason Weber. Jason, how are you today?
Very well, Gerardo. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. It was great to see the news. And let me read the headline just for a little bit of context. Imperial X and Alianza Minerals form Southern U.S. Copper Exploration Alliance. The market obviously has reacted well to the news. We, of course, know that you're in the midst of a very important drilling program where silver is the target. Copper, despite the recent pullback, it's still at $4.30 a pound, and I suspect this pullback is just that. Talk to me about this alliance and kind of what it entails and what inspired it.
Well, the inspiration is actually the really neat part, I think, in all this. It sounds maybe corny to say it, but we have, as you're aware, our Twin Canyon project in Colorado, which is kind of a different gold exploration target. And the fellow who brought that project to our attention also had knowledge of different copper opportunities throughout the Southwest. And we started chatting about them, and we soon realized that the scope of what was needed on these things probably was a little bit much for us to bite off by ourselves. And so we started talking to the Imperial X crew. We've known Kyler and Rory, who are involved with that, for a long time, and about these ideas and just how we might move them forward. And they were very interested and actually had some people they thought would potentially be partners down the road on this. So we kind of just said, well, why don't we work together on these? We can move as many of these copper ideas forward as we can. And with the two groups working together on it, we thought we could just cycle through more of them, do a quick evaluation if they are what we thought they were, bring in a partner to move them forward, and then move on to the next batch of ideas. And I think that's the really interesting part in all of this is there's quite a stream of ideas. We've been through 8 or 9. There's probably 4 that we're really quite keen on. And, we've been looking at these for almost a year now. So it's been a process that is just sort of culminating now, but it's been, as the copper market has been strengthening, we've been quite eager to get going on these. So this is great for us, and I think it'll be really interesting going forward as we'll have partners to come in and take the projects on from the alliance. So we'll work them up together and then jointly bend them to a partner who will move them forward.
It sounds like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but it sounds like the focus will be here in the States. It's Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah-based projects is what's outlined in the release. Is that accurate?
Yep. That's the area where we've sort of I don't want to say focused, but we kind of focused our efforts for now. I think the other aspect to this is that, for now, these projects have sort of come in from the Alianza side, but I really see the Imperial X crew building on some of the ideas they have too, and funneling their ideas into the alliance as well. So it's kind of it really will be a joint effort, and they're a good technical group as well, so that it makes it really easy to work with them. But I don't think we've ruled out working elsewhere together. But for right now, it's focused on those 4 states.
Excellent. And how active do you plan on being? I like that you mentioned that you were vetting these projects a year ago. It's not like copper shot to new all-time highs and all of a sudden you wanted to pivot and, have a U.S. copper exploration alliance, right? This is something that's been in the works because of the strength, technically, of both groups. Walk me through how quick you think we'll start hearing some details on what these projects will look like, if you can. And if you can't, walk me through the criteria for vetting the projects. What specifically are you looking for?
Well, one of the keys is acquiring ground. So in some cases, it's a mixture of staking claims and then talking to existing claim owners. In some cases, it's just going out and staking the ground. Some of these are occurrences that have been worked in the past. Some dating back to the early 1900s, so really, at this stage, it's about acquiring the ground without tipping our cap too much. So we're in that phase right now. We've had a crew. If they're not staking today, they've just finished up. And so as we get these claims registered, we'll start to announce those properties. And when we're comfortable with our land position, we'll start to announce properties that have come into the Alliance. And that will, I think that could happen fairly shortly, maybe in the next 3 weeks to a month. We'll be down that road. I think at the first stage for the evaluation, we've had some geos out on the ground, just ground truthing these ideas. So, yeah, they fit what we think they are, at least in a very short site visit. The next stage on a couple of them would be kind of a 10-day field program to just get a better handle on what they are and sort of set the stage for what the next phase of exploration would be. And in some cases, we would be looking for that next phase to be carried on by an incoming partner. So it'll just depend on which targets we're looking at, how much work we're going to do on it as an alliance.
Excellent. How is drilling coming along? Let's pivot and get back to silver, right? Which has held up remarkably well despite the recent gold pullback. We've seen gold, attempt to break 1920. It's failed to do so a couple of times. Still at a healthy 1856, but silver has held in pretty well. How's drilling coming along, Jason?
Yeah, so we're on our fourth hole. It's safe to say it's going slow but steady, which is not totally surprising. We know that the ground is difficult to drill here. You have to, and for us, recovery of the zone is so very important. So we have to make sure the drillers aren't pushing too hard, because you can run into problems and you actually lose the hole. And of course, for us, when we don't make it to target depth, the hole is essentially useless. It doesn't matter how fast you're drilling, that the meters really don't count. And then once you're into the zone, recovering the mineralization is really key for us. And it can be fairly technical for these guys because you're dealing with a mixture of very hard and very soft material. And that's a real challenge for the drillers to effectively recover it. So they're doing a good job on that, being really careful with it. And then of course we just are in the process of finishing up a raise to expand the program a little longer. We wanted to do that just because we know it's going to be difficult to get a drill rig back to the property later this summer. It's just so challenging for drill availability in the Yukon this year. So we thought it would be best to just keep going now and get some more drilling in. And, if the results warrant, we can raise some more money and come back. Maybe we can come back in the fall, and depending on the size of the program, attract a contractor back to the property. But it's just so competitive this year. Normally we would do some drilling, take a break, have the drill come back a month later, say, and keep going. But this year you just can't do that. That drill leaves the property and it may not come back. It's just there's so much demand for them.
Well, I always joke that when a program is expanded, it's never to not find more of what you're looking for. So hopefully that means that you've, at the very least, looked at and seen some good looking rock. And we know that can mean nothing when the assays come back, but I'd rather have it than not, right?
Well, yeah, and that's always the challenge for us. I think I've said it before, when we had that beautiful intersection in hole 19 last year, 311 grams silver over 8.72 meters with some higher grade, intersections over some still nice 4-meter plus widths. We weren't visually all that impressed with the intersection. It's subtle's not the right word, but it just, because it gets all weathered and broken up, it's not as flashy as some other deposit types. When like a VMS, for example, where you just get meters of massive sulfide, this stuff isn't the same. So it's, you can say, yeah, that's the kind of material that could run, but until we get more holes into it, sort of predicting how well it's going to run is still a challenge for us.
Well, I'm looking forward to those assays. I'm looking forward to results. Anything else you want to get off your chest here before I let you go, Jason? I know you have a busy day ahead of you.
No, I just think it's, you touched on it already. I think the resilience in the silver market has been fantastic. And we are excited to get this copper news out and get these projects moving forward, because I do think there is going to be a demand for copper projects for companies. So I think it's just another great piece to add to the Alianza story, and just helps build that news flow and exposure to discovery opportunities as we go forward.
A lot of news flow in the pipeline. Looking forward to having you back on. Thanks for your time today, Jason.
Thanks, Gerardo.
Chat soon.
Thank you.